You're tuning in to Past Our Prime,
a show powered by Squad Locker.
Here are your hosts, retired Astros minor league star Tip Fairchild and former Patriots All-Pro center Dan Copen.
Hey everybody, welcome to the program, Past Our Prime. I'm Dan, and Max is, oh, what the hell? Do you have wind chimes up there?
Yeah, keep going. Keep going.
Yeah, I'm not going to stop for this.
No.
Oh, this is a debacle already.
It's stuck.
Okay, hold on, Tip. We'll just wait for you for 1 second, okay? While we're waiting, we're coming off of Memorial Day weekend, and we live in the greatest country in the world, and it is not possible to have our freedoms and everything that we have in this country without those that fought for our country, served, and those that risked everything and gave the ultimate sacrifice to have what we have. So thank you for all the service men and women out there that risk everything every day, and especially on Memorial Day weekend, as we remembered those that lost their lives for us. So from all of us at Past Our Prime, thank you very much for everything that you've done. There's no words. I mean, what they do day in and day out is just amazing, and what they risk, not only themselves and their families, we owe them everything. So thank you very much. And with that, Max and I are here in studio at work, and
Yes.
You're not here.
I took one extra day. I'm up in Monmouth, Maine. There's actually a chipmunk that just ran right across the deck right here.
There's also wind chimes that are affecting
Wind chimes. You're going to hear planes. You're going to hear water, like lake planes. You're going to hear boats. You're going to hear probably a couple big trucks go by, I think they call it rolling coal, when they get on the gas and black smoke barrels out of the top of the smokestacks. And that's just on a regular GMC Sierra. That's just the thing up here in Maine, Dan. So, I'm up in Maine the way life should be. I'm actually at my parents' house now. We have I call it a camp.
Yeah, I
call it a cabin.
Did we talk about this? Because I don't get, when you said you're going up to camp, I'm picturing a tent. I'm picturing fire. I'm picturing you're gonna catch what you eat or kill what you eat.
That's not camp.
No,
for Mainers.
So
I mean, you could do that.
I don't think you're physically able to do that if you had to.
Well, that's one of the bullets that I have on here, Dan. So I'm actually at my parents' house in Monmouth, which is on a lake, Cobbessy County, and Annabescook, and then camp is 20 minutes away. I'm going to camp a little bit. I don't know if you can see the baseball field is behind me, though. I don't know if you can see that.
Get a little glare.
A little bit of a glare. I can go over my shoulder for a second.
Oh yeah, there we go.
So you can see the ball fields down there, the fire pit. So we stayed here because the weather for Memorial Day weekend wasn't all that great. How was it down in Rhode Island? Was it nice? Was it rainy?
Max, I'm going to say overall, not great.
It got sunny about 2 minutes before sunset on Monday. That was it.
The good thing about Memorial Day weekend for us was my son was supposed to be in a baseball tournament all weekend. So 2 games on Saturday or whatever, one on Friday, one on Sunday. However it worked out, I don't even know. But the good thing is everything got canceled. So we had rain Saturday, we had rain Sunday, we had a little bit of rain Monday morning and all that stuff, but then it cleared away towards the afternoon.
Got it. So I came up. I did not see Warden McCabe. I didn't see Warden McCabe. I did see Ryan Reed. So one of our first guests, I saw Ryan Reed. We had a what do you call it? Not a pig roast, but he had a big smoker.
A pig,
a friend of his house, they had a big barbecue. I guess you call it barbecue.
So you smoke. You smoke barbecue smoke.
Yeah, the wings, the brisket, the ribs, the whole deal, the chicken thighs, the whole thing. So we did that. Pouring rain during that day, but there's a big garage where he was at, so we were covered there. Last night, I went to the quarry in Hollowell and ran into Jedi. And Jedi is on Maine Cabin Masters. Max, are you watching Maine Cabin Masters? You said you're watching it, right?
I will be. It's adding it to the list.
Yeah. Okay, so Maine cabin masters, they go find a kind of a old dilapidated cabin. You know, it could be on a lake, could be whatever. They fix these things up like gems, and it's taken off. I think it's on DIY Network. So we ran into him at the quarry. We took a picture. He's got a big beard.
So they make a place more suitable for a camp of your stature.
Yeah, they take a beat up camp and they turn it into a cabin. You know, a nice one. Okay. And it's a cool show, really cool show. I like to watch that. So I saw him, and that was fun.
Did he know you? Did you know him beforehand?
I knew only from the show. Okay. I would never have recognized him from. He went to a different high school than me, but
he recognized you.
No, did not recognize me. Did not. Rare, very rare up here, but did not recognize me. The other part that's going on right now, there's signs on everybody's lawn right now, Save Our Academy. So Monmouth Academy has a new school. The front of the school they want to try to save. It's from 1836 or something like that. Maybe I might be off by a few 50 years or so, but it's from a while ago. So there's signs everywhere. I don't know. I can't vote up here. So it's hey, save it. Don't save it. Like, you know, do what we need to do. I'm a lot of lawn signs though.
What do you mean? They just want to renovate it?
Yeah, it's going to be a couple $1 million, right. But like they could knock it down and it could cost like not a lot, right? Yeah. But who knows? There's like grants and different things. And would it be cool to save an old, you know, historic building? Yeah, absolutely. So that's one thing I've noticed a lot up here right now. I got to what we call it wetting a line. Oh, so I got to actually fish a little bit out back. There's a lake back here. You can't see it by the trees. Didn't have any tackle. So had a rod and reel. Yeah,
you sent me a picture of it.
Could not find any tackle, right, at all in the whole house. Asked my dad. I'm like, Dad, where's the tackle box? He's like, I don't know what a tackle box is. So I had to walk down to the dam. Was with a buddy of mine, who then we grabbed a bobber out of a tree that was caught up in a tree. So we started to acquire different tackle that we needed. And then we asked a guy for a lure. We gave him $10 for a lure. And that way we didn't have to go anywhere. Bang. We called it wetting a line. 20 or so cast, not a bite. Didn't catch a thing. But, got to at least throw a line in the water. No license, though. So I was worried I would see Warden McCabe. Maybe throw me in jail or whatever. But we were good. So we evaded the warden service for a day.
Oh, thank God! I'm so glad you were able to acquire your tackle.
We did. Yeah, we did. It was an important thing because nothing was open up here, and including restaurants and places to get food yesterday. So I went to go get sandwiches, closed. But we did get to go out to dinner last night to a nice spot.
You know what I did yesterday?
I'm ready. I kept sending you pictures of things, and I felt like you weren't doing the same things as me.
No, I was not doing that. You know what? It was kind of a nice weekend to get stuff canceled because for whatever. I mean, whenever we came out of COVID, everybody's just like in the house, right? And we're all together for a long time. But since I don't know, early spring, like. Shit's ramping up right now. It's been really busy, so we were able to, with the rainouts of the baseball games and all that stuff, sort of relax a little bit. But yesterday afternoon, we went to one of those ropes courses, and I'm not a fan of heights. It's just like you're.
Oh yes, that's what you were saying that you sent. So, so how do you fare? High up on the ropes.
Let me tell you, that's a tough thing to do. This is the second time I've done it. It's like 20, 30 feet up or whatever. They have levels, beginner, intermediate, expert, and all advanced or whatever. So the first time I did it, I think it was 270 pounds. They actually had to weigh me in, which is not a good thing when you go to a ropes course. It's kind of like when you do, when you zip line, right? There's a weight limit, 270 or whatever it is. So we pay. I mean, it's not cheap to go to this place, so we pay for everybody. We're getting ready to go on the course, and then someone comes up to me the first time and taps me on the shoulder. It's like, "Excuse me, sir, we need to weigh you in." It just brought me back to like my old football days on weigh-in day. It's like it's either going to be a really good day or a really bad day.
Yeah.
it was like 270. Let's say the weight limit was 270. I was like, well, I know I'm under 270 right now. That's not the problem. But I do have jeans on. I have sneakers on. I have a hoodie on. That might push me over the limit. I made the weight, but then the question comes to, well, am I flirting with the tests, like the strength of this line and cable?
Like that's what they say the weight is.
Yeah, I really don't want to, if I'm close, I'm good. I don't have to do it. It's not a big deal.
Yeah.
But then they say, oh, it can hold like 3,000 pounds. So what's the point of the weight? So obviously we're in a better weight position so far.
Yeah.
But we went on the yellow course, which is the beginner course. You have to go through this tunnel made out of wood, and it's made for like people that are 5'8". I can't even get through it, let alone get out of it, because then my knees don't bend the way it's supposed to be. And my family just sits up.
I get claustrophobic. I don't like tight spaces at all. So
I'm fine going up with like ladders and all that stuff, but once you start to put 1 foot over the edge and there's nothing below you, or you're looking down, that's where I draw the line. They got platforms around these tree trunks that you're shimmying around the outside and all this stuff, and you're hooked up with cables, but it's just not my cup of tea.
And was there any zip lines? Was there a zip line or anything, or was it more like balancing? Was it like balancing and tight ropes?
A lot of balancing, but there are some places where you go from 1 point down to another stand and all that stuff. So there is a little zip lining, which is kind of fun.
Got it.
But putting that.
Who was the best? Who was the best in the family?
I think my wife had to help the youngest a lot, so I think she would have been the best. But my son, was going a couple blacks. But it's also one of those things where you need a couple more inches to be able to grab everything and step further and all that stuff. But we had a good time, I guess. That stuff scares the shit out of me, though.
Well, another thing for Memorial Day weekend, I think that we are personally, Dan, I think responsible for maybe bringing this beer really back into the. I've bought all the Miller High Lifes in the entire Central Maine region this weekend. And
I'm surprised you even want to drink one.
There's 2 left. I'm gonna have a sip.
That's it.
It's been yesterday. We think we started at 10, and everyone's like, "Why? What do you have in Miller High Life?" So I'm like, you know what? Like, I think that it was you, Dan. I think it was during the Jake Hutt episode, which was a little off the rails anyway. And you brought in a 6-pack, and it stayed in the fridge for a while. And then I had one day, and I was like, wow, that is delicious. It's champagne of beers. And then we started having them on the golf course a little bit. Now it's like I don't know if I'll drink another beer. It's that delicious to me right now.
It's delicious. I mean, it's a classic lager, and you get all these hopped up other beers. You can have 1 or 2, and that's it. The only problem with High Life is once you break the seal, you're going every 15 minutes.
Yeah, it's been one of those weekends where, and you can have a lot of those compared to the hopped up ones. I mean, I had some Maine beer. I'm up here in Maine, so we have great breweries up here. So I had some Maine Beer Company too. I had a couple of those last night. It was a lot different than having the Miller High Lifes for sure. Those hit a little bit harder. But I will say I'm on the Miller High Life gang. I ordered us 2 T-shirts, so we should have 2 T-shirts probably by the end of the week. Ready to sponsor the brand. So maybe we'll wear those in a podcast episode. So I have that also.
Jeez,
rainy weekend, right?
You've got a full weekend.
Oh God, I'm only halfway through the bullets right now.
Oh Jesus.
So rainy days, cold up here, 45 degrees, 50 degrees, 55 maybe on Saturday. It's cold. It was cold up here. I do, in case it gets chilly. It's nice right now. It's about 73 right now. In case it does get chilly, though, I do have a jacket prepared. So, I have my Monmouth State. Can we see it?
Yeah, we can see it. 1999.
Yeah. Can you see what that says?
That says
99.
State champs.
Wait, don't worry. Another one again, though. The patches aren't on here. All the patches are downstairs, but. Got that right there. So if it does get cold, I can put that on, if we need to bundle up a little bit, Dan. I don't know. Do you have one of those? Do you have a leather Letterman jacket?
I have a Letterman jacket, but I don't have State Champs on it.
Oh, see?
My parents actually brought that up in the last few months, I think, or whatever, maybe even last summer. It's in my son's room, which is kind of cool.
I was actually going to try this. Well, I was going to try this on. It's a large 44-46, but I don't believe that at all. So
Does
doesn't
it
look
fit?
like it's going to fit.
Let's just see if it fits.
Do we want to try it? We'll do a fit test while we're at it. Let's see. We should put the baseball patches on here. Oh, this could go. I could get away with this.
Yeah.
I could get away. I probably can't button it, but I could get away with this. I can get away with this
I think
going out to the bars up here.
Yeah, then we can superimpose that picture you sent me of Lloyd Christmas.
Oh man, I did, Max. I found my senior pictures up here. I sent one to Dan. I'll send it to you. It's trouble.
Oh,
Trouble,
man.
Trouble picture. What didn't really understand what product was for the old hair back in high school, I guess, because it was Lloyd Christmas as much as you could be. Max, I have a question for you though. Did you get the boat out this weekend or not?
No, it was torrentially downpouring.
Yeah,
So
safe. Not safe.
You haven't had a chance. Haven't had a chance to even get it in the water yet, huh?
No, we're aiming for mid-June at this rate.
Okay.
Did you put the dock in?
All right.
In those temperatures, in that weather, did you put the dock in? No, I'm saying
The dock is in.
Did you?
The dock is in. I did not put the dock in. We hired some kids to put the dock in. It was cold. I've already jumped in the ocean this year in freezing cold temperatures. I wasn't going in again. And I will be going there to check how well it was put in this afternoon. That'll be a chore of mine. There's a new patio there, all kinds of stuff going on. So my dad earlier, I don't know if you could, he was out here hitting golf balls. He's wearing Carhartt jeans, and Carhartt suspenders are his new thing now, like 3-inch wide suspenders. Just cruising around a golf cart around the property. That's his thing. Suspenders all day. So that's a new thing. That's new. I'm worried that eventually will be my look that I'll have. So that's what's going on at the homestead.
I have no problems with suspenders. I think they're very convenient.
Yeah, I do also have here. We're gonna get these in the podcast room.
Oh, buddy.
I've got the high school jersey. I've got the college jersey ready to go. And I've got one of the pro jerseys. And the wind is picking up. So we're ready. I'll be bringing these to the office. USM, tough loss yesterday in the regionals. They lost 2-1 to Wheaton, so they're not moving on to the college, the Division III College World Series. Not moving on to it. So it was a tough loss for them.
Did you go to the game as well?
That's a report from here. The game was in Hartford, Connecticut, so I did not.
You didn't want to leave. You didn't want to leave camp. I got it.
Didn't want to leave. Exactly. What else is on the docket, Dan? What do we have?
Well, it's kind of, a down week. We do not have anybody, and I wanted to get a full report from Monmouth from you. Especially camp, because it's very intriguing to see what you do up there, how you acquire tackle and everything.
Yes.
Naomi Osaka was in the news lately. I don't know. Did you happen to see that the number 2 ranked women's tennis player?
You sent me the story. Yep.
And what happened was she stated mental health reasons where she didn't want to give interviews after her matches in the French Open, which nowadays mental health is a very big issue. It always actually should have been a big issue. I guess people are paying more attention to it now, which they should. My question, actually, you know what? I think she spoke very well on why she didn't want to give the interviews, right?
Is it a mandatory that they're supposed to give an interview after? Is that a thing?
It's
like, does she have to go to press row or
yes.
In golf they have to stop at the microphone, do their thing?
Yeah.
So it's a mandatory thing. Then.
Yeah, I would think if she's a professional, right? She's not an amateur. So there's stuff in the contract. That's how they promote the sport. That's how the news. That's part of the gig as a professional.
Right.
She was fined. Initially, I think $10,000 or $15,000 for missing one of the interviews. But then actually she did a very mature thing, I think. She withdrew from the tournament. One of the biggest tournaments, one of the Grand Slam events for the women's tour, from the men's tour. She withdrew, which I think is a very mature thing for her to do, and saying, hey, I'm going to focus on me, which is what she wanted to do in the first place. But I don't want to be a distraction for everybody else. My question is...
Right.
Do you think they should have to give interviews?
Yeah, This, you know what this reminds me of, Dan, and I don't know if you were thinking of the same thing, was Ricky Williams. Remember when he would give the interviews with the helmet on?
Yeah.
Because he was socially anxious.
Yeah, he was an introvert.
He had social anxiety. He didn't like to be around people, so he gave the interviews with the helmet on,
with the shield
and the visor, in the locker room.
Yeah,
like it wasn't like he was, in like it was right after the game. And he still was wearing his helmet or something. I've never seen a football player give an interview with a helmet on.
Yep.
So that reminds me of that. I mean, remember when I'll talk about Koepka for a second. When Koepka first was winning stuff, he was a terrible interview. Everybody was like, this guy is so boring. And then he became like the villain almost, so I think that you have to give the interviews, and if she's not comfortable with it, maybe she doesn't play, but maybe she's also going through something just specifically at this time. And she's like, hey, I wouldn't be able to handle it. But then next tournament, she's fine.
Yeah.
Where she's like, feels fine to give the interviews and stuff. So I don't know exactly like her situation, but it's probably a good move that she withdraws. But at the same time, it's like the sport kind of misses out because you get the number 2 player in the world not playing. It's like if, say Tiger Woods was healthy and, Dustin Johnson was healthy. And then one of them just was like, hey, I'm not healthy, so I'm not playing this week. And it was the Masters.
Mm-hmm.
Like the sport takes a hit there, but the person has to look out for number 1.
No,
but it's what you always got to say.
100%. I agree. And I think she did the right thing by taking herself out and say, okay, well, if this is a big enough issue, tennis isn't that important to me right now, which is what she should have done. Because contractually, she's obligated. You bring up Ricky Williams with the shield, and then maybe there can be a dialogue back and forth between her and tennis on how to make her feel more comfortable going forward.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not saying tell the reporters what they can and can't ask, because that's not the right way to handle things. If you go out there and you perform badly, you should be criticized badly. If you do something that's in question, you should be asked why you did those certain things. Ricky Williams, that shield was sort of like a buffer for him, and he found a way to get through it. It's not like, even Koepka, you brought up Koepka. Yeah, he was an asshole from the start of it or whatever, but he was still giving interviews. Marshawn Lynch. Remember Marshawn Lynch? He would just what did he respond?
I'm only here so I don't get fined.
Yeah, I'm only here so he wouldn't.
Yeah, that was what he said.
He showed up and he didn't really he wasn't present, but he showed up and he didn't get fined. It's not going about it in a wrong way. I think she's handling it the right way, especially not being there. And I think they can figure something out going forward. But the best thing, like when I thought about this too, was I remember Michael Jordan, right? Did you ever see Michael Jordan give a bad interview? Sure, he was angry and the competitiveness maybe came out or whatever, but he sat in there. And one of the things that I remember from one of our meetings, someone came in, talked to us, and maybe it was like one of those media consultants or whatever. Michael Jordan knew that was part of his job, right? For 15 minutes every day, I've got to go in there and I've got to answer these questions. So you can decide which way you want to go. Do you want this to have a good light on me, or do you want it to have a positive effect or a negative effect? And I think if people take that in that situation and be like, okay, well, it's only 15 minutes, I got to do it. Let's just do it the right way, and then I can get my image out there in the right way.
Yep, you're right. I mean, and we saw a lot of those interviews in Last Dance, which I'm going to rewatch, I think, because it's so good with Michael Jordan. Yeah. So I can't wait to rewatch that one.
Oh, I mean, just think of how much more money he made just being accessible to the media.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
And, hey, we've all had bad games. I've had bad games where I've probably been, a prick after the game. But I'm not going to sit up there and make excuses or whatever. I'm just going to, I'm going to very politely and bluntly and very quickly answer the question and get out of
there. Speaking of bad games, you lead me right into it here, Dan. So we talked last week of you having a big match on Friday. So you're in your 4-ball thing, qualify, you have a 4-ball match. It's exciting, right? Because as athletes, you're looking for something that you can compete on that's not just a match, right? It's like, hey, you're going to try to win the year-long 4-ball, tournament, or you're trying to win the member, whatever it is. You called me on Friday, and I said, okay, meet me at the trap because you were hurting because it was a tough loss.
Oh,
so take us through the tough loss.
I don't know if I'm ready to talk about this right now. It was.
You're still hurt. You're still hurting.
I'm very much hurt by it, and I felt good Friday morning going into it. I went there. I hit some balls early on. I didn't get there too early. It wasn't like I was over.
You also sent me a text though in the morning. You sent me a text 6:30 in the morning. You're like, already been in the hot tub, loose. I've stretched.
Yeah. I know. I wanted to be prepared. I wanted to put the time in. I wanted to loosen up. Yep. I wanted to get mentally ready to go. And we ran into a buzzsaw. I'm just my partner was a 2 handicap, and we were going against 221 handicaps basically. So
it's tough to do.
Both of them were getting a stroke a hole, and one of them was getting 2 on number 2, which is the hardest hole, number 1 handicap hole. They started out 4-3, 5-3, 3-2, and
it's tough to beat.
We were down 3 right from the start, and we could have put some pars together. We could have put some birdies, but the other thing that fired us up too, we got a 45 minute like wait to go out. We were going to go out around 10. It got pushed back to like 10:30, 10:40, and then that's when I should have been more mentally tough in that situation and put the external stuff away, compartmentalize a lot of the other stuff going out there, and just focus on the job at hand. And that's where I failed. That's where my partner failed. We weren't able to mentally get through the obstacles, the external obstacles in our way, and we got our asses kicked. And I'm still hurt.
Smirking. I'm smirking.
This was like
the reason.
No. This was like, I've played in a couple member guests over the years, and I've not won it. We've lost matches, but this was just like this was just us 4 out there, 2-on-2, one day, one round, and it was just like, I'm going to beat you, and I got my ass handed to me, and I'm still upset about it.
I'm smirking because I know how mad this can make you, because you were angry on Friday when I saw you, where you were like, I can't believe we lost. Like, you were prepared. Like it was like an old game. It was like you were preparing for a football game. You were hitting balls great that week. It was game day. You were in you were wearing probably your best outfit. You laid it out the night before. You were ready to go.
I don't do that. You do that though. I don't lay it out the night before.
You were ready to rip though, and then you didn't produce. And golf, we talked about this a couple times. You cannot out hustle this game, and nothing makes you more frustrated than when you lose to somebody, especially if you're like, okay, fine, I lost golf, whatever. I want to go play basketball now. I want to go play football now. I want to go like throw a fastball by you now. You just want to go
arm
beat
wrestle.
them at, arm wrestle. Like who can spit farthest? Like anything, you just want to go do, and it makes you so mad. And nothing pisses me off more than in those matches. Dave Jenkins and I are member guest partners for the 4-day. He won the national championship in lacrosse, played professional lacrosse, great athlete. Me, somewhat of an athlete. And when we get beat by 2 guys that are 2 bankers, or like a lawyer and a banker, didn't even play sports, they beat you at golf, nothing infuriates you more. You want to just take a ball and be like, throw me an alley-oop so I can dunk on your head, just so I can put you back in your cave. It's so frustrating. And I could see that with you on Friday. I was like, I know his pain right now. It hurts.
Yeah, that was the first time I experienced that. And the thing that sucked the most too about it was we qualified at -7. We were one of the top upper seeds. They were a lower seed, whatever. But it's a year-long thing. First round, we're gone. We have nothing else to do the rest of the year now. We just get to watch results come in. And I got another buddy
results from that.
And I just
now tournaments.
Now I'm hoping everybody loses. I want everybody to lose.
Yeah, it sucks so bad when those things turn out. We didn't even qualify, my partner and I, this year for the year-long.
Actually, that makes me feel better.
It does. It should. And it's like when you miss those things, or when somebody beats you, there's nothing that infuriates me more now, because we've talked about this a bunch. It's like, that is my competitive outlet now. I don't go play men's baseball. You don't go play
pick up basketball games,
men's football.
Yeah,
right?
No, there's none of that. No.
Right. So like we don't go do that. So like that is our thing. Like that's what it is. And it's frustrating. I did play some hoops. We've got a basketball court over here on the other side. Played some hoops.
Is there any sport he doesn't have up there?
I don't think so.
You got a baseball field, you got a basketball court. I saw
you got the lake, you got fishing.
You got fishing, you've got a golf mat around there somewhere.
Yep. You gotta staying active. Guess what there isn't in the house? Guess what there never was?
TV.
There was never a PlayStation.
Oh.
There was never a PlayStation. There was never an Xbox. There was never a Nintendo. It was all out here, all outside. I've got another thing that happened that was big that we never talk about because we're not car guys. I'm not, at least. I don't even know how. There was a guy who was driving my dad yesterday. It was pouring rain. There was a guy fixing a tire on the side of the road. And
fixing it or changing?
Changing a tire on the side of the road. He had another person with him. But I laughed because I was like, I should stop. But then in my mind, I was like, I would be absolutely no help. And I told that to my dad's like, oh, you want to stop, man? And I was like, no, because I'd be a lost cause. And he goes, I didn't ever taught you how to change a tire. And I'm like, yeah, you did. I called AAA. That's how I change a tire. Like, that's what's going to go on. So cars, though, Indianapolis 500. Max, you might have to look this up on the fly for us because I don't know why they do this, but I want to get a clear answer on this.
It's got obviously.
Helio Castroneves wins the Indianapolis 500, which is one of the two kind of real big races that you see. Indianapolis 500, Daytona 500, and then that big like Grand Prix in Monaco or something like that.
Formula One. By the way, Formula One.
Yeah, Formula One.
Netflix. Did you see this series on Netflix too? If you want to get into
I've watched it.
Did you watch it?
I've watched it.
Holy crap.
I've watched it.
That thing's awesome.
Crazy.
I'm like 3 episodes in on the first season. That's a good series.
It's crazy the amount of information that goes into what they do for those cars. Like, those guys are rocket scientists, literally.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
And then the drivers are too. The drivers are like crazy smart.
No, those drivers are like whatever the 33 of them or whatever the number is. They're like the 33 best drivers in the world, and it's not like stock car or NASCAR where cars are created equal. You have these like massive things like Mercedes-Benz or Ferrari or McLaren or something going against these other teams like Haas or whatever that don't have the budget. Like, let's say Ferrari has like 2,000, 3,000 employees figuring out how to make this car faster and this driver better, where Haas Racing or whatever has like 200. It's not equal.
It's nuts. And then I laugh, though, because Indianapolis 500, they finished, like, what do they drink? They literally drink milk, right? Like, and I laugh because I always think of Anchorman when he's like, milk was a bad choice. I'm like, why did they choose that? Max, we might need a Google search on this because it's such a random thing. I've never thought about thinking it, but I did see that because it was on in the background when we were at Reed's house. And I'm like, wow, that's a very interesting choice for a celebratory drink.
So,
after a big long race.
Okay, you just thought about that, but you've known they've done this for years, right?
I've known they've done it forever, but I never thought. I never was like, why do they do this? But it just hit me probably because I was drinking my own beverage of choice, Miller High Life, and I was like, why wouldn't you grab a Miller High Life or why wouldn't you drink the drink that you're sponsored, right? Like, so if you have Gatorade or whatever, like you see people do that all the time. It's like they drink the thing that they're
that's Ricky Bobby to the T.
Yeah.
And Talladega Nights and all that stuff.
Winners celebrate with chilled milk goes back to 1933 when Louis Mayer drank a glass of buttermilk after his second Indy 500 triumph. Mayer said so that his mother used to tell him that buttermilk was the optimal drink on a hot day.
Okay.
There you have it.
Can't be.
Louis Meyer's mom started a tradition.
Louis Meyer's mom is wrong. That's because there's no way that milk is the optimal drink on a hot summer day. That's the wrong thing.
In 1933 America, I think it was.
What's the difference
between
buttermilk
Max.
and milk?
Maybe
just butter in it? I don't even know. Like, does it taste different? Mm-hmm. All right, we're gonna go down.
Buttermilk pancakes.
But there's butter with it. Have you ever had just buttermilk by itself?
Nah, maybe it's delicious.
Buttermilk is
Maybe it's
slightly
delicious.
sour.
I don't know.
Oh, it's sour. No, it's slightly sour.
Oh, I don't like
that. That doesn't sound
Uh,
refreshing on a warm day.
Sounds even worse. Yeah.
Doesn't sound
That
refreshing
sounds
at all.
that sounds awful.
Sounds like a stomach issue.
I don't
in
want to
about
win
10
the Indy
minutes after you do
500.
it.
That's for sure.
No. Well,
No
I
kidding.
actually would want to win
Yeah, I
the
guess
Indy
I'll take the money.
500, going 220 miles an hour around a turn.
Let's talk hockey, Dan. Because Jedi from Maine Cabin Masters was watching the Bruins game intense. I saw that Gary sent me a picture from TD Bank. He had a great seats for the game yesterday. Hockey is full on back with fans. And
Whoa, in the U.S. In the U.S.
And I saw the highlights from the Maple Leafs game, and I was like, that is brutal. Nobody there, not one person there. The whole thing's
not
like
in
mapped
Toronto.
out.
Toronto didn't open it up,
Toronto.
but when they were in Montreal, I think they had 2,500 fans for like Game 5 and 6 or whatever it was.
And then you go to the Bruins game where it was just a packed house.
Yes.
Packed house last night, like buzzing. Tough loss for them. But I will tell you, I'll say it again. We said it last episode. Playoff hockey is so fun to watch.
Doesn't matter.
So fun to watch.
It does not
doesn't matter which
who's
games.
playing. It doesn't matter where it is, what game it is. If you and I don't want to bash the NBA, but do you even know who's playing in the NBA playoffs? Because
No.
I'm sure some people love the
don't.
NBA and they watch the NBA and they think it's great. That's fine. NBA is not for me. It doesn't look like they play hard to me, and maybe they're just superior athletes where they can just make it look that easy. But coming from a day with like Bird and Johnson, Magic Johnson and Jordan, like it felt like they played defense. I don't know if they play defense now or even care about it. But the playoffs, they just get angry, and they are 110 miles an hour every single shift.
And the way that there's nothing better than sudden death overtime.
Yes.
In playoff hockey, because then it takes all of that, which is already at like a huge like difference in speed from the regular season for just playoffs in general. Now you go to a sudden death overtime. Those 5 minutes, 10 minutes last night were like nuts.
Yeah.
You know, and it's just back and forth and shots and like saves, and people are flying out on the ice. It's just crazy.
I'll
I'll
tell you what, some of the hockey players may be some of the greatest athletes on the planet.
We've said that. You and I have said that.
Their hand-eye coordination, what they can do with their feet, and just, I mean, they're awesome. I love it. I love watching playoff hockey. I don't even know what else to say about it. I would like to go in and critique a game, but I don't know how to play hockey.
Yeah, so it's funny because you get all the sports. I never played hockey. I live on a lake, and I never played hockey ever organized. And my dad and I were watching the game, and he actually said to me, he's like, "What's icing again?" And I laughed so hard. Like, and then by the way, then I couldn't explain it. I was like, wait a minute. I know exactly when icing occurs, but does it mean it goes past 2 lines? Like I couldn't quite figure out, or 3 lines. I couldn't quite explain it. But I think
is it 2 lines or 3 lines without being touched? I don't even.
3 lines. It's got to be 3 lines.
Is it 3?
It's got to be the end line too. But it's because when they're behind the red line and they try to dump it in, it's icing, right? But if they get in front of the red line,
you got the red line in the center, and you got the 2 blue lines, right? Those are the zones, and then you got the red lines on the ends.
Yeah.
Is it 2 or 3?
Yeah.
Is it past the red line or is it past the blue line? Max is Googling right now, by the way.
It's before the red line. So
all right,
if you're before center ice,
you've got to get it. You've got it to mid ice. You got to get it to mid ice.
Got to get it past mid ice, and then you can get pucks in deep. That's a term that I've heard. So pucks in deep.
Nice.
Pucks in deep down there.
Good job. Yep. Hey, did you see DeGrom?
Yes. So I know this is another topic that we've brought up and we've talked about, and there are some absolute like horsepower studs in Major League Baseball right now, and Jacob DeGrom is like number 1 on this list. His first 3 innings were like all 100-mile-an-hour fastballs or something.
He threw 10 pitches or 10 of 13 pitches, whatever it was. They all were 101 plus.
Yeah, it's crazy. Is he the best pitcher of all time? I thought I don't know about all time, but I've thought he's been the best pitcher for a long time. Just because he is an animal, and for some reason he doesn't. I mean, he does get a lot of notoriety, but if he was like pitching for the Yankees as compared to the Mets, it'd be a different story.
Yeah, no doubt.
And it's like his starts are a little bit hidden, but he is electric to watch. It's so fun to watch him because it's effortless, and I don't know. He's getting older, but he is going to get paid one more time, and he's already getting paid. He already has a monster contract, but
he can opt out. I looked up. He can opt out at the end of next season. He's finishing up a 5-year, $135 whatever $1 million deal. So he's good. What makes him so good though? What makes a pitcher good? Is it the where they place the ball? Is it how fast they throw it, or is it how angry they are?
He doesn't look that angry, but he's mean. But it's more deception, and deceptive speed is really tough with movement. So if the ball moves a little bit and if a ball's going 95 miles an hour and it's dead straight, that's actually kind of easy to hit for these guys. Mm-hmm. If a ball's going 95 miles an hour and goes like this, or like this, it's impossible to hit. So now ramp that up to 100 mile an hour level like he has. That ball is on them so fast, and and he has tons of movement, and he has other great pitches, and he's just dirty out there. He is so awesome to watch.
Is he single-handedly the reason the Mets are in first place?
Yeah, but they haven't even scored runs for him.
Though they don't need to.
So I know, but
which makes it not a very good team sport, by the way.
No, you're right. Because I think he was 1-3 or 1-2 to start the year, and he had a 1.1 ERA. He had 2 1-0 losses, that's terrible. You when a guy's that good, you want him to win every game and go on no hitter type runs, perfect game type runs. Just nasty stuff. And he ends up losing some of those games, which is tough. But yeah, he's my favorite to watch easily in baseball right now. Or Trevor Bauer, just because Trevor Bauer is cosmic. When he did a huge, what do they call it? Sheathing of the sword.
Sheathing.
When you put the sword back in.
Yeah, sheathing. Yeah.
He did one the other day where he struck a guy out and he put it up in the air and put it down in the. I mean, he is absolutely playing to the crowd. He's an actor out there, so he's fun to watch. But other than that, in baseball, this is the time of the year in baseball where it gets a little bit okay, long season now. You know what I mean? I love the beginning part of the year. Now it's gets into okay, and then we ramp back up again. August, September.
You have to go through the whole summer before you ramp back up.
Yeah,
I
was watching the Red Sox.
It's 162 games. That's a long time for those guys.
There's a lot of names that I don't recognize in the Red Sox, which is pretty rare. Where I'm wait a minute, who's playing first right now? Where's this guy from?
Yeah, but
what's going on here?
Weren't they saying that about that roster this year? Everybody was basically laughing at them, or basically saying they weren't going to be any good. But then you take a team that just grinds it out, and people like to watch that.
Yeah, I do, but usually it's you still like to see names that before right now you're watching hoping somebody makes a name for themselves. So it's you look at some of these rosters that are stacked with people that and then you look at a roster that's the Red Sox, where these are a lot of guys that got to make a name, but they're doing it. They're doing okay. So I'm back into a little bit of baseball watching season. So that's happening.
You're finding time. I don't know. What do you think?
Finding a little time.
Finding time during your camp stay.
Yeah, I got to throw up a camera outside. I got to get a camera. I got to get a Nest cam outside to just make sure, just get the recording going on, because I'm still on the hunt here for a boat. So if anybody's listening and is from Maine and can find me a boat right now, I'm up for anything. So something that I can propel in the water without having to use a paddle in a kayak is preferable right now. So that's going on. So camera's going to go in. I got to do that, and then I'm going to leave and hit the road to come back to Rhode Island, and I'll be ready to go in the office. Dan, we talked about hockey. I know that we have a great hockey brand right now.
Yeah.
At Squad Locker, CCM. So ad read time. I know that the creative people wanted to mix it up because neither of us can say customizable. But
customizable. I can actually the day you're gone, I can actually say it today. Just customizable.
I've been working on it. Customizable, right? So we can take CCM rink suits. Again, I always talk about the lace-up hoodie because I think those are so cool with the hockey lace, neck on it. The shirt, shorts, combos, all the things that they have. We've got them at Squad Locker.
The warm-up suits. You can add them to your
store. The warm-up suits are the key. You know, the beanies. We get the beanies, or what do we call them? The toques, I think we call them. I think that there's a couple different names for those. You know, that you put on your head. You got the regular hats. Toques. Is it called the toque, Max?
I have no idea.
Is
that Canadian?
No, isn't there a toque? Like, isn't that like what the blade's in down below?
It's called the toque. It's called, like, I call it a winter hat is what I usually say, but then people say beanie, and then I think they call it a toque. I'm pretty sure it's called the toque.
Like a stocking hat?
Is
like
it TOQUE?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is that what it is, Max?
It's saying, yeah.
All right. Well,
it's a type of hat with a narrow brim.
Because toque, TUUK, is the company that makes the thing for the skates. Puts the blades into the white thing. I don't know what.
I'm pretty sure it's called a toque.
All right, we'll go with
beanie. But anyway, they have them.
Beanie.
They have regular hats. They've got polos. They've got quarter zips. You can add them to your store at Squad Locker.
Get them shipped directly to the player's house.
Oh, absolutely. Direct to the player's house. We're getting league after league. That's what they're looking for. Now we have a big hockey brand. It's www.squadlocker.com/CCM. That's the landing page for it. Go there, figure out some more information, talk to one of our salespeople, add it to your store. I didn't even have that ad copy. I just whipped that off the top of my head.
No, that was good.
Yeah, that's pro.
You know what? That's what
thing.
happens when you get a few days off and you're at camp and you can relax, and then you're firing on all cylinders now.
You're fresh. Absolutely. So I do have a couple guests lined up here for the next coming episodes. Some very interesting ones. I haven't even notified you yet of this yet, Dan.
That's good. I like to be surprised with it.
Yeah, we've got some decent ones lined up. I know that you have some that we're lining up. One that's, potentially just signed a pretty big deal. Not what you might think, not a sports deal. I know we were working on a couple of those people. So there's some good ones waiting in the wings for us to talk to. And then our sales team is humming in the office. People are coming back in the office, which is great. It's fun. We want to talk to you. Squad Locker, Past Our Prime is powered by Squad Locker. So notify us, let us know. And guess what's coming back too, Dan? Guess what's coming back?
Your jerseys, every one of them.
Well, those are coming back. But
Team of the Week.
Team of the Week is coming back.
Good.
Team of the Week is coming back because we have some submissions for Team of the Week because right now, as we know, especially up in this area of Monmouth, this is the state championship title time right now, and this is a title town. I'm surprised you haven't heard ambulances and fire trucks in the background because there was a parade or something. That usually happens almost every day up here.
And you guys are humble.
Very humble about it. Very humble. Almost as humble as Josh Mickey, which rave reviews for his interview, by the way. Rave reviews for Josh Mickey's interview. With him being a dick model.
It was the first dick model we've had.
Yes, yeah. So very, very rave reviews for his interview. He will certainly be back. He is excited to come back already. He's like, hey, I forgot 5 to 10 stories that I'd like to bring up. And I said, hey, we're going to have you back soon.
Yeah, so he might be booked by now, though.
Yeah, he might be booked after that interview. He definitely he was a top-notch guest for sure. So Dan, do we have anything else? We touched on the 4-ball loss. We've got big golf coming up for you and I. USM lost. Hockey's good. Indy 500. Why did I drink milk? The main experience up here. The camp beside me, Dan, by the way, I just heard they're going to rent it this summer. They've never rented it, so
you're going to get different people in there. Better be good neighbors.
I'm going to say.
Well, you want me to come up?
Maybe you come up and we got side by side.
Oh boy.
We just we take over the lake.
I grew up on lakes. Yeah,
and Max, you can bring your boat up maybe.
Maybe
and I don't need to buy one.
We have a dock. He's got a dock for you to put it in. That's good.
We have it. We have a dock. We do not have a boat at the end of it, but hopefully here soon. And there's also a fence going out of my house today. A lot going on in my world right now with me not being there.
Well, hey,
There's a fence going into the house.
I appreciate you bringing up the 4-ball, but I do have a member this weekend. So we're going to try and make it up and report back next week, see how we do. See if I can get a better result. Friday, Saturday, and Sunday.
Oh, it's a 3-day.
It's like 2.5 days, yeah. 3-day deal.
Oh.
So we got three nines on Friday or Saturday, and then we'll have 2 the other day, and then probably 1 on Sunday with the championship in the afternoon. So let's see if we get there.
Maybe we get a couple video clips from that we'll put on the Instagram, Max, and then we will certainly be talking about that next week. Yeah. And I hope that we're talking about putting your name in paint at Wannamoisa Country Club. That's what I'm hoping for you.
That's the goal, and we're going to mentally focus and do a better job of that this time.
Okay. Good luck, Dan. And
Thank you, sir.
I'll see you in 4 to 5 hours.
Safe travels, my friend.
Okay.
All right. We're out.
See you later, everybody. Bye.
Past Our Prime is brought to you by Squad Locker. Squad Locker is your one-stop shop for custom team apparel, delivered right to your front door. Learn more by visiting squadlocker.com.